Tune in as James Cruz brings you Managed Money. Listen to James offer up his insights on investor behaviour, wealth management and strategies on how to retire right.
Hi and welcome to Managed Money. It's James Cruz from Evolution Financial Planning. We're up to episode 8, which is contemplating what type of advice suits your family business. Today I just want to give you a brief outline of all the different ways that you can access personal and family advice, obviously with business as the backbone of that. And I really just wanted to highlight, I guess, the different ways that you can do it so that if you are contemplating getting or receiving any advice, that you have a better understanding and are better educated around the options that are available in the marketplace. I guess from our point of view, which I'll probably get into a little bit later, is just giving an insight into how we approach advice with clients. So after 25 years, I've, as I said, my experience working in banks, working in distribution arms, and then together with accounting, joint ventures with accounting firms and with large institutions, now pushing towards that independent advice framework. I certainly believe that we're better positioned in offering advice specifically tailored for those family business owners. And I'll have a chat about that in a second. Initially, you might want to get some investment advice. Investment advice certainly sits as the core of a lot of the offerings of financial advisors. If a firm such as a brokerage house purely focuses, and generally you'll get an indication if somebody's going to charge you a percentage of the assets that they're going to manage for you. They're really focused just on the investment side. They put themselves out as investment specialists. They will buy and sell assets, shares, manage funds, hybrid investments, a whole different range of listed investments. But they'll put themselves out there as the money manager for you. But they're really only just focusing on that one component. You've got other insurance specialists whose focus is on the financial protection side of your family. I think it's an integral component of certainly a family business, certainly in the startup phase where you're needing to financially protect the risks that happen. That includes your life insurances, your trauma or living insurance policies and income protection, making sure you've got a portfolio of policies that really protect that financial side. But that's their only focus. And generally, even with the Royal Commission, it's going to be commission-based selling. So the more insurance policies you take up, the more revenue that insurance specialist is going to receive. I know in the banks there is this private wealth aspect, which has some fantastic connotations. The thought of having a beautifully catered meal on the 15th floor of an office in George Street in Sydney sounds very, very appealing to me. But I can tell you now that the offering is directly linked to your fees. It's one of those areas where I've always been, I guess, frustrated in the fact that you're not necessarily receiving the best advice because a lot of the product used to help you implement your banking and your private wealth needs is directly linked to that generally that institution. So from that point of view, as I said, there is absolutely conflict there, and it doesn't matter if, how big the bank is. Their job, and you've got to understand, is to make profits for shareholders, and that generally comes at based upon the level of products that you hold with them, not necessarily the depth of the relationship. So that's probably the main aspects there that relate to the different forms of advice. From our point of view, we take, I guess, a family office type structure. We don't want to have that persona of sitting on the 15th floor having meals and driving the product sales. We really want to sit there as the hub. We have a one-page roadmap that we align to our families. We want to understand that, and this before we do anything, before we give any recommendations or advice, we want to provide you with or understand the relationships that you already have. As the family office medium, our job is to work with or introduce you to professionals who we believe, and based on experience and working together, who can offer you the best taxation advice, the best structuring advice, the best ways to manage those obligations. From an estate planning point of view, we want to make sure that you've got an estate planning specialist, not a legal generalist, someone who really understands the transition of wealth to generations. We want to make sure that intergenerational transfer of wealth is effective and provides significant value to ensure that the longevity of your legacy and the work that you've done in your life can continue for as long as possible. From the investment point of view, yes, we want to make sure that you're getting access to market-linked returns. Even with the GFC and the changes that have happened there, the strategies that we implemented and used with clients through that period has just provided absolute confidence and ensured that the world isn't broken. The investment strategies will always change. I know that there's a lot of providers who are offering risk-adjusted returns. You can't take the risk of the share market out. The only way you can do that is to have more money in cash as the cheapest form, without having complex, complicated, expensive put and collar options or whatever alternative structures that someone may implement. My view is that investments are a commodity, and the more complex, the more expensive that an investment strategy is, probably the further that you need to run away from that offering. And that's based on our experience and a lot of research which is provided by fund managers, whereby their inability to actually meet or exceed the benchmark returns due to costs and strategy allows us to push back towards market-linked returns, understanding that the market returns are available and it's your obligation to go and access them over an extended period in line with what you need to do to reach your family's goals. We understand that a lot of family business owners also have direct assets. Their business is generally going to be one of their larger assets. They also have other direct assets outside of that. So as a financial planner, as a family office provider, we know that those assets need to be administered and managed as well. So when we've got all the professionals, the lawyers, the accountants, and the financial planning firm all sitting on the one side of the table on your side, hopefully that builds you some confidence around the ability and getting that support to ensure that your legacy is maintained, and with the ongoing education and administration of your next generations, that we have an opportunity to ensure that your hard work goes on living for a very long time. Thanks so much for listening. Really appreciate the feedback that we've been receiving. There's a lot of people who are listening in on Managed Money. I know I keep saying it's one of those dry conversations, but obviously there is a requirement where people just want to understand their options that are available when discussing what you can do with your business assets and how to administer them well. I want to thanks again, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Cheers.